Hello everyone, this is Jay High from Couch and Keyboard, and I figured I would do kind of a wrap up in a way, but while also just talking about the history of invitationals. Recently, we just had Full House Siege. Now, I went ahead and made some little preview videos for each of the players, and when I posted for HBox, I noted that he hadn't won an invitational since pre-COVID, Smash Summit 9 in February 2020, and like I said that uh, he's not necessarily that good at invitationals, where he's only won five invitationals, a lot more like 30 something open brackets. Now I had a couple replies. He has not won very many invitationals compared to open brackets. The person said four, and I also think that Smash Rivalries is good enough to count. I hadn't really counted it all up. I knew Armada was up there. I knew Cody had won a lot, but I was pretty curious. And I was like, huh, like sometimes, like this person had a pretty good point. That uh, that HBox has a decent amount of invitational wins. It's not necessarily um, and I said I'll make a bit about Melee Invitational history. Yeah, so I think depending on if you think HBox is good at invitationals or not, uh, that's kind of up to you. But going over the data, I think it was pretty interesting. So I went ahead and went through and compiled all like the major invitationals in my opinion. I counted pretty much every summit besides the online Summit 10. I counted a bunch of the Ludwig events, like Ludwig Smash Invitational, LACS 5, and then Scuff World Tour, the Nouns Invitationals, the first one and the one in Japan, both full houses, Egg Dog Invitational, Smash Rivalries, Battle of the Five Gods, and then the Championship of 2021 for Smash World Tour. When you add all those up, there's a few others here and there that I'll mention later. But for now, for these, Cody is in the lead. If you include Smash Rivalries for HBox, that means that they were 5-5 going into Full House Siege. And after a pretty close reset of Grands, Cody was the victor. And we have only 11 unique people that have won a big invitational, and most of them being only one. Like Zane had the online Summit 10, also had the NA East Smash World Tour qualifier, which had him, Cody, and HBox and Polish and a bunch of other good players. I didn't quite count that, but those are definitely good. I don't want to take away from that. But if you look at this, and if you're asking, who is the GOAT of invitationals? Then maybe you say Cody. I'd say he's won the most. It's reasonable. A lot of times you're chasing rings. That's what you might want to say is most impressive. Now, there's other ways of categorizing it though, where it's like, well, if you get second, it's better than getting last. It's better than going winless. So maybe it should be more about how you do across all the invitationals and the placings kind of put together. And if that were the case, after compiling all this data, I would say that Armada has a decent chance of being considered the GOAT in terms of consistency at invitationals, getting 4 firsts, 2 seconds, and then a third at Battle of Five Gods. You could say that's pretty good. You have Cody, you have HBox, who have done fine, but they've had a couple low placings. Cody got a ninth at LSI. HBox didn't do too hot at some of these summits. So maybe you would say in terms of consistency that Armada is the GOAT there. And I think that'd be fair. But I want to weigh all these placings and give kind of a numerical value. So I kind of had all these invitationals and I kind of listed them all out. And this is kind of what I did. So there's a few others like Redemption Rumble and some of the other Smash Bros. Tour qualifiers as like a major slash national, and then a regional, more like Holiday Bash, Black Empower Melee Invitational, some of the smaller Smash Bros. Tour. In here, I guess you would also put the SoCal Star League Championship. There's some smaller Egg Dog ones here. There's a bunch of other regional ones that I'm sure I didn't include here. But this is kind of what I'm doing, to where I give a lot of benefit towards getting first, a lot of benefit towards getting second. It starts to diminish as you go down. And some are larger than 16 players, but I kind of just put it in the same thing. Pretty much Super Major is 100% of these points. A Major / National is 2/3 of this. A Regional is 1/3 of it. Maybe it should be smaller, but I just made it nice and easy. I feel like this is a pretty fair ranking system for points. But yeah. So I went ahead and did that, and I calculated who has the most. Now, I pretty much looked at people that got top 8 at either a national or a major, like super major level invitational, or got top 4 at a regional level one that at least I looked at. So you have some people like SFOP, Eddie Mexico, kind of going down here. A few people that entered a few. Hax and Richie both got top 8 at once. Same as Silent Wolf. And, you know, doing all right. Slug feels kind of... For the LSI, there's an argument for LSI being higher because of how stacked it was. But still, you know, very good placing there. PPMD only entered 2. Didn't do too hot at the Battle of the Five Gods. Tusay entered a bunch. You know, didn't do too hot, but did pretty good at Bemi. And then Junebug. That was a hard-earned 5th place Egg Dog. Didn't do too hot at these other two. Flash, Professor Pro, Zoe, Duck. Did do all right at Holiday Bash. I really like Holiday Bash. I think people don't talk about that enough. Doing an end-of-year, like, top 10 through top 25 invitational of, like, or maybe 11 through 25. Just full of players and just having them go at it. And I think that is so hype. Because a lot of times the top level players get those sets against each other in top 8, but you don't always have people in the trenches of the top 25. And I think it was really cool. Lots of like tons of cool sets. Swift hasn't entered very much. Definitely could go up, but yeah. Wobbles had a really good Battle of Five Gods run that people forget about. Chu pretty consistent, top 8 of both his. Lucky, kind of not the best, but entered a lot. So props. You have Drug Fox had an amazing Smash rivalry, getting 3rd place there. Pipsqueak entered a bunch. Did pretty good at the Smash World Tour ones. The other ones not so much. Sunsei, starting to get his points up there a little bit. Didn't do amazing at the last Full House last weekend, but still fine. Aura also getting his points up there. Doing some Egg Dog stuff in Oregon. Also did get top 8 at Full House Siege. Good stuff. Spark did win one of the House Party Egg Dog Invitationals, beating Salt. Speaking of, there's an argument for me doing based off of wins, but that would take a lot longer. And also, it's like, even though your placing isn't always indicative of how easy your path was, I think it's easy to be like, okay, like it affects your prize money, it affects where you are on the graphic. Like, I feel like it's fair for this to go off of placing, even though it's a little bit inconsistent sometimes. Magi have really good Redemption Rumble. Besides that, you know, not doing too hot. Polish really good at back-to-back Smash World Tour events, beating HBox at both of them. That was a pretty big deal. Laud doing all right. Triff, you know, a bunch of peaches around here doing okay. You know, some Falcons here now. I didn't realize how many times SUJ entered and just did very poorly. Like, I remember people saying, like, stop voting in Johnny. Like, give other people a chance. And people were like, screw you, let's go SoCal. And I was like, kind of on the side of let's go SoCal. But he got 9th at so many tournaments in a row. And like, and he did fine in open brackets sometimes, but like, man, he would just get, he got 9th at Redemption Rumble. He should not be down there. Like, he got 9th at SoCal Smash League Championships. Dude, what you doing, man? Like, and I know he's better. I mean, he got 5th at the NA West. He had plenty of other good runs, like a Shine and stuff like that. But an Invitational is not too hot. Josh, man, lower than I thought. I guess never getting like this top 4 placing. Originally, I was going to have top 4 be the cutoff, but I was like, okay, I'll let it be top 8. And that's a big deal. I think Josh Mann, he did get the Smash Bros. Tour with him winning the game count thing over Axe and all that kind of stuff. But and then Kadoran having some stuff. Aklo, Salt, SFAT. SFAT had a lot of kind of similar to Johnny with a lot of ninth places, but got a few sevenths. We did really good in the West. A really good Holiday Bash. Just losing to Crush in the finals. Also pretty good Smash Rivalries. Doing pretty good there. Now eventually we have some of the event winners of the larger ones. We have like Aklo and Salt winning some of the these are both kind of smaller. Bemi 22 was online. Bemi 23 was offline. This is a pretty good win. And a House Party, the Oregon's pretty stacked right now. Aklo, I think Redemption Rumble could have been a lot more bigger of a deal, but sometimes it was just like, you don't want to, like, because of Zane maybe not being exactly sober and all this kinds of stuff. But, I mean, it was a good win for Aklo. I don't want to take that away from him. And then going up, you have eventually, Moki has done very good at both Full Houses and Invitational. Not too out the Japan one, but besides that, I have a pretty good track record about recent Invitationals. At least one, I didn't realize he went to 8. I remember Cody had that breakout, and Axe obviously won it. But Moki also did pretty good there and starting to get his points up. We see a jump from Moki to Wizrobe. Wizrobe has not won an Invitational. Technically, he won an SCL. I didn't really count those. I just counted Smash Summit 10 for online stuff. But I think if you were to count SCLs, I think that'd be fair. And Wizrobe did pretty good with them. But also just in general, I mean, doing very good. Having a really strong... let's see. Did I... Yeah, Full House Siege. There we go. Got 4th at Full House Siege, beating Zane. Coming back from a Rapim loss. But yeah, doing very good there. M2K, one of the, I think the lowest of the people that actually won like a big invitational. Won Summit 6, really big deal. The first 4 won by Armada, 5th won by HBox. M2K winning one was a pretty big deal. Some not too hot. Got 9th a few times, just beat some brackets just didn't work out for him. And then Jmook, we have someone that's very inconsistent. Getting first at some, beat AMSA twice at SoCal Smash League Championship, SoCal Star League, excuse me. And won Announce Invitational, and then got 2nd at the last one. But recently, Full House has not been a pretty good one for him. He would kind of be like, a solid 5th place. Beat Zane one time, did fine. And his breakout was Smash World Tour, where he was able to get 13th, and then later, a few months later, beat so many players to get 2nd at Genesis. Now we have Axe. Axe has gone to a lot. People wanted Axe to be at Full House Siege. I think it's okay. Axe has had so many tournaments that he's gone to. Like he's gone to like over half the summits. And he won one of them. I think that people are going to hold on to that win for a long time. Not great at Smash World Tour. Okay at LSI. He did the baller thing of picking Zane, but Zane won at the end of the day. Next highest is AMSA. Has won some of the smaller ones like LACS Rivals. That was like a rival-specific event. They had a little bit of Melee. I think a little bit Ultimate too. I forget. But like... they had some stuff there, but generally, like the Rivals was the main part there, so people weren't necessarily as dialed in for Melee. But still won that. The biggest thing being Scuff World Tour, Smash World Tour Asia was not necessarily that stacked, but also winning Scuff was a big deal. Helped him get ranked 2nd for the year, and yeah, and then also got 2nd at this one, which wasn't quite as stacked. 2nd at Eggdog was very good. Eggdog was a very stacked Invitational 2024, and did all right here and there. Some of the earlier summits struggled, a few here and there are not too hot, but he had a history of beating HBox at these summits. Didn't do too hot at the Now Invitationals, but some of them, he got top 8 at Summit 6. That's pretty early in his career, compared to where he is now. The next highest is Leffen, only beating him by 1 point. And Leffen has attended a lot of them. Didn't win any summits. Only having 1 second at a summit. So summits were a little bit rough for Leffen at points. Getting ninth at 3 different summits was a pretty big deal. Seventh at the most recent summit at Summit 14, but did win LACS 5 with both Fox and Sheik. Pretty impressive there. Next highest is Plup. Now, Smash World Tour Championship was not as stacked as it could have been because like HBox and Zane and a bunch of and like Mango people didn't go to it. And so it was like Plup, Wizzy, M2K. Like there was a decent amount of good players. Axe, but it kind of felt like a foregone conclusion because it was Plup versus Wizzy, and that's pretty Plup favored. But I think it's still worthy of those 30 points. And then also had a pretty good track record at some of these later summits. People talk about how good his Fox was playing at Summit 9. I had a really good run at Summit 13, and kind of was the career 5th place guy. Summit 2 being that heartbreaker, crazy Mango combo on Pokemon Stadium. That combo was nuts. I gotta admit. But yeah, pretty good. Top 6 all time in terms of points here. The next highest is Armada. We already showed his results. Very consistent, but only entered 7 invitationals. And there was a lot of invitationals that started coming out. Armada did enter an Ultimate Invitational that Summit had, but for Melee, left some points on the table because of his retirement when he did. Next highest is Zane. Zane has entered a lot and didn't really win a Summit. You can count online Summit, but didn't win an offline Summit, and it was pretty surprising. I mean, getting second at Summit 11 in that crazy Mango Zane sets, got 3rd with Cody winning. Summit 13 didn't do too hot. And then Summit 14, same thing. Getting 5th at both of them. He could get 4th and 5th a decent amount. Sometimes would run into Amsa early, J-Mook early. There'd just be some killers. And yeah, did decent in Japan, getting 3rd. 2nd at Announce Invitational. Lost to J-Mook in both of those. So J-Mook's been a little bit of a demon there. Won this NA East one. I mentioned earlier that this one was pretty stacked. Polish kind of just randomly did really good there. But also Cody and HBox were in that too. So that was a good win, but definitely, I mean, LSI is potentially the most impressive invitational win. Yeah, he lost some sets, but like theoretically, that's the hardest invitational there's been. I guess you could like kind of weigh it out, but just in terms of like the depth of players there and how many there were in the bracket, like Smash World Tour could have been that, but it just wasn't. LSI was nuts. But yeah, it was 2022 was popping. I'll go back. 2022 was like, and then the World Tour and Panda stuff happened, but still good times. Good times. LSI was lit. And number 3 we have Mango, just above Zane. So if Zane, by this metric, 8 points was getting 4th. So if he just gets 4th at another invitational, then he would already have tied Mango based on this metric. And Mango having these 2 clutch, especially this first one, summit wins post-COVID, he struggled at a lot of early summits. Like 2nd at the first one, 2nd at some of these later ones. 2nd at Battle 5 Gods was really good. But like some of these early ones, like 3rd and like 4th was considered to be pretty good. And some of these, he got 9th at a bunch of them. And now Invitational, he didn't do very good in. LSI out kind of early. Not the best at LACS 5. Not the best at Egg Dog. But like, these are really influential. And he just entered a lot. And so that's going to help him get his points up. 3rd all time. Not bad. 2nd is Cody with 276 points. A decent amount above Mango. Winning 6 invitationals will get you there. They're tied in summits, but the thing is, Cody kept winning after summit was over. Won Egg Dog in 2024, 2025, won Full House and Announce Invitational Japan, and then 2026, very recently, won Full House Siege. Also got 2nd in the NA East one, 2nd in Summit 14, where Mango beat him, and then 2nd at the Rivals one. 3rd at LCS 5, losing to Leffen and Zane at that one. 3rd online, Redemption Rumble was weird with Kadoran and Aklo and Magi and Zane and Fiction. Like, it was an interesting event. But not too hot from him there. Fourth place at Summit 8 was his huge breakout, beating Mango in H-Box and kind of clearing it up for Axe to win that. Let's be honest there, that really helped Axe in loser's bracket potentially. Wizard potentially could have just kind of swept through, but imagine Axe has to play H-Box in Grands. That would have sucked. So shout outs to Cody for that. And then not too hot at some of these. Did get ninth at LSI. Not the strongest there. Had a tough bracket too. That's the thing. I think he had Mango in losers top 12. That's tough. And at the first Now Invitational didn't do too good. Not at Scuffed. World Tour didn't do too hot. But still very good. Has won like the most invitationals out of anyone. Is very impressive. But now we have first place by a pretty significant margin. It is H-Box. Has entered almost every invitational. It didn't enter Summit 1, but besides that has entered so many. And I think has gotten top 8 at all of them. I might have missed one or something, but I'm pretty confident he's gotten top 8 at all of them. Winning 5, so just behind Cody, just above Armada. And, doing very well. Second at LSI, very impressive. Second at a bunch of summits. Also getting second at Full House. He's most recently taking a set off of Cody. Very impressive. Third at Full House last year. Third at Egg Dog. Third at Summit 13. Just doing very solidly here. Had some weak ones right after COVID. Smash World Tour was not very good for him. I guess also he lost early. I forget that he was actually in Smash World Tour. People was like, wait, where are all the good players? It was very bizarre how early some people went out. Some didn't do too hot, but still did fine at most of these. And, is able to stack up those results. Getting seconds as many times as you get first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. More seconds than firsts. He's getting to grand finals 11 times out of, 20-something invitationals. That's very, very good. I value second place. I know people with the LeBron and MJ things where they make fun of LeBron's second places and losing in the finals. It's good to get to the finals. It's not better to not make the finals. It's good to get second place. I don't know why people think it's embarrassing to lose in the Super Bowl or lose in the finals or whatever. It's good to get second place. And H-Box got second place a lot. Also a bunch of thirds. And Cody did too. I think Cody eventually can overtake. It only takes a few invitational wins for Cody to pass H-Box here. Now, who knows how much he's going to enter. With Now Invitational not really being a thing probably anymore. It's unclear when there's going to be a winter, like an end of year invitational type thing. I don't know. But in terms of just invitationals themselves, H-Box has such a legacy and there's so many. I think it's fair for him to be in this first place spot. If you think it should go to who has the most wins, you think it's Cody, give it to Cody. If you think it should be Armada, with the consistency, give it to Armada. But I think in terms of the points and weighing it and giving a lot of credit to getting first place, I think that getting just only one behind Cody and a lot more placings around here, getting a lot of top 3s, top 4s, I think that's worth some praise. I think that's a lot of credit given. So yeah, I think H-Box is the GOAT of invitationals, but we will have to see. Who knows? I didn't include Rap Monster because he got 9th on this list. He would be at 2 points, I suppose, unless you include some regional ones that he might have gone to. But there is a Young Player Invitational coming up, I believe May 14th? I'll have to check. But I'm definitely interested in that, and Rap Monster could win. I would probably put that in the 10-point level, the third. But I might keep this running tally going, add some regional invitational. So if there's some I missed that you think I should add, I can keep a running tally of this and kind of keep a little bit more detailed recounting of all this. But yeah, I love invitationals. I'm glad that we've done so many. It didn't just fizzle out after Summit. Egg Dog, Now Invitational, Full House. They've really filled in the gap very well, and I'm very thankful for it. Keep doing it.